Hi, I'm Josh. Last time, we did some science. We found out we didn't have enough money, so we rescued a Kerbal from orbit. So that was wonderful. So let's see if we can't get some more contracts. I don't see any basic rescue this and that from orbit. So that's too bad. I do see some other opportunities here. But all of them... Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. All of them have like really specific purposes and goals. There is one thing I might be able to do. I can get some science data from space around the moon and Minmus. I don't like these specific altitude and speed missions very much at all. These are like, do this and you get a really low reward. Of course, the reward for getting planting a flag on the moon is very good. But I will need to have a Kerbal all the way on the moon. Now what I would prefer, just see here, this is also very specific again, this is also very specific again. Hold on, this is in orbit though. This is an LV-1 liquid fueled engine in orbit. Interesting. Interesting. Hold on, hold on. This is impossible. Landed at Minmus. No, no, no. This one I think I can do. Though I'm not sure. And these inspire me to send out a science probe, whose purpose is not going to be to actually gather any science, but just to, okay, let's start here. This is going to be the Rangari 1. As you may... No, not that one. I'm going to use this for the Rangari 1. As you may know, I name all my spacecraft after things from Draenei Society from World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor, a game I have played for the first month or so until the raids came out, and then my guild started raiding, and I decided I didn't want anything to do with that, because I don't like progression rating. That's just that's just the long and short of it, I suppose. Okay, what am I gonna need for this guy? This guy doesn't know how to do any science on his own. I'm better off doing science in high orbit, but I will need a module that's way too big to do that. So the best thing I can do is to use a small thermometer. You will need to get close to the planet to do that, but it's easy, it's cheap, it's quick and easy. There's also the idea of putting this thing in orbit and reusing it whenever I want science from the moon or Minmus, which means I might want to use two of these guys. Oh, that's a fetching idea. Now, I can use the fancy antenna, or I can use the really good antenna. So, I don't know, the fancy antenna, how expensive is it going to be? A lot more expensive. It's also not going to be good on the battery life. Speaking of, I need a battery. The idea of sending one of these guys in orbit around the moon and one in orbit around Minmus for finance's sake is actually quite appealing to me. So let's do it. These two are not going to be meant to get back home. They're just going to be meant to get there and then do some science. Are these OX stat 45 per minute? I would rather just play it safe and use the Model Bs. Yeah, they look slightly better too, I think. Put this thing on the back just for aesthetic purposes. These do get reset when you transmit the science, so that's good. So I like that. I like this idea. I'm really starting to like this idea. Now these things do need engines, obviously. So they need small engines. These need to be purchased to use them. These need small engines, like the... No, that's not the LV1. The LV1 is really, really small. Now I'm stuck with a conundrum here, because I can either use, I can either purchase small-sized parts, or I can just cheat and use medium-sized parts. There's also a compromise of getting the LV1 through contract, and then just slapping the LV1 onto this thing. But that in itself doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I know that this contraption can get to the Minmus, can get to the moon and to Minmus. I might actually also slap on an LV1. I don't know. I don't have a small fuel tank for it though. Question is, can I get 2 of these into orbit at the same time? I think I can. I think I can. Oh, this is going to be an inspired idea. Look at this. Look at this. How can I clone the entire array? No, I can't, because that's... game doesn't like that. Sometimes this game has some issues with the definition of symmetry, so you need to be careful. Yeah, I do think I need to build this thing up from 0, otherwise it's not going to accept it. I can, of course, clone the parts over, but why risk it when you can just do it this way? Yeah. And so we have the Rangari 1 pod for, one for the moon and one for Minmus. Absolutely perfect. I would need to rotate this thing then, though. Or I just rotate the solars? Yes, I just rotate the solars, I suppose. And hell, while I'm doing this, I might just replace them on there. Haha. Perfect. And hey presto changeo, I'm just going to use this because these things aren't bound to each other by symmetry, sadly. I will need to set up some improved hotkey groups, or if not hotkey groups, then certainly staging. I think both are going to be in order. But first, as the mask says, connect these guys together. Oh. As I said, symmetry doesn't really register on these guys yet. So I'm just going to do this. Once over, not twice over. So they don't wobble. And as I said, once you disconnect something with staging, they just go and disconnect themselves. So yeah, I'm going to put these two in the same stage, and disconnect this thing first, then that thing. I'm also going to do the contract for the LV1, but I'm going to slot that on the side of the stage that should get these guys into orbit. Now I'm, as you know from experience, as we all know from experience, something good enough to get things into orbit is generally one of these with an LV30 on it. Sadly, I have no faith at all in the reaction wheel capabilities of this thing, so it's going to have to be an LV45. Thankfully, these things aren't too heavy, so yeah, these should get these should go. The Rangari 1 satellite should go to the moon and Minmus, and then we'll be happy. What else? What else? What else? What else? I can turn these into docking ports, but that would just decrease the stability and gain me nothing. This is enough to transmit. I'm just going over everything. Just enough to transmit some science. Yeah, I think if we drag this out any longer, that would be pointless. So I'm just going to add some. Ooh, I think this would be an excellent opportunity to experiment with asparagus staging. Now, asparagus staging is. Okay, that's going to be orbital stage, and then I'm going to anchor it. Yeah, okay. Asparagus staging is a type of staging used to very efficiently slough off excess fuel tanks. Now, the idea behind it is, I'm just going to do fourfold symmetry, I think, yes. the idea behind it, I mistaked. Fourfold symmetry. Fourfold. These are slightly more expensive, but they do provide some extra punch when you detach the rockets, which is perfect. Fourfold symmetry. Are they... It does provide some more benefits, of course. It does provide like a wider base of thrust. And with struts, the magic of struts, you don't ever have to worry about them flexing around too much. Now what am I doing here? I'm clearly adding a gargantuan amount of thrust to this thing. Superfluously gargantuan. Except, there's a reason behind the madness. And I will tell you as soon as I add these aerodynamic nose cones. Okay. What I want to do is to first drain out these two outer engines, and then drain out these two outer engines, or maybe the other way around is better because this thing does need to rotate in just a bit. So yeah, first drain these two outer engines, then drain these two outer engines, and then drain out the middle engine, and only then the stage. And this stage might actually be superfluous, question mark? I'm not actually going to rely on that. I'm not going to rely on that. No, I'm not. There's no point in doing that right now. Just a sec here. What I want is for... it's going to have to be this then. Just give me a sec here. I wanted to tie the bicoupler, this thing, to the stages, but I can't do that. So I'm just going to have to tie the top of the rocket to the stages. This might be a slightly over-engineered, but you know how I am with over-engineered things. It's still not too expensive. Now the key thing here is something I did a few episodes ago. I unlocked fuel ducts. Now fuel ducts can be used in singular this time because you need to organize this very, very, very well to facilitate the flow of fuel from one engine, from one liquid fuel tank to the other. So we want these guys to empty out before the other ones. So I want this guy to empty out into here, and I want this guy to empty out into here. So these ones will empty first, and then these ones will empty. Now they're still going to empty slightly ahead of the middle one, which is generally good. But what I do want as well is for the middle one to survive as long as possible. Now, if I wanted a situation where the middle one went out before the outer ones, I shouldn't have attached these, but I do want these outer ones to run out of fuel before the middle ones. Now, that does, of course, have repercussions for staging. These stagings also look a bit weird because I want this engine to fire with this one. Don't mock me now. And then these, yes. Staging went wrong, almost went wrong again. Excellent. Yeah, I want two groups of staging. I want this group of staging to fire... where's that one? That's the middle one. Okay. I want this group of staging to fire after this group of staging. I want that group of staging to fire first, and then this group of staging. Yeah, that works. So yeah, this is a asparagus stage rocket. It should work fine, and it should be very efficient because the excess weight is discarded far more efficiently than you could do otherwise. And it has a ridiculous thrust-to-weight ratio then. Even as you go up. It's almost like, okay, you have a five-engine brand new rocket. Okay, you have a 3-engine brand new rocket. Okay, you have a 1-engine brand new rocket. Admittedly, it might wobble a little bit from that point onward, but so be it. What I'm also going to do is attach these winglets. Once again, just for some extra stability, because these are LV30s, which might be a little bit of overkill, but the fins will deal with it. The winglets will deal with it. As well, there's no loss of crew in this case, so I'm not crying over that. Toggle soldiers on 7. Of course, I want the science log temperature on 1. Log temperature on 1. Am I missing something here? Not really. It's got everything it needs. I would definitely prefer like smaller engines or even ion drives, but those are generally for interplanetary science missions. Toggle communitron antenna on 2, because this allows me to send science back home, and that's going to be the thing that rewards me. So, come try it, that's perfect. Time to launch this thing. Yeah, I made a... Ooh, no, actually, there was this contract for the LV-1 engine, remember? And I want to do that contract as well, because I can tie that LV-1 engine to the getting into orbit stage, and then I can test the thing without ever having to fire it. So, LV-1 liquid fuel engine in orbit at this altitude, so I'm going to accept the contract. Thank you. And I'm not going to accept these yet until... No, actually. Yeah, they have a 9-year duration, and this one has a 12-year duration. So, that's going to be just fine. Just fine. So yeah. I need some LV-1s. So the trick is, I don't have the LV-1 unlocked yet, but you get some free ones. So where am I going to put these? I'm actually going to put these on the... You can't put these on the sides of anything. You need to put these on the bottom of something. That's not as planned, but there is a... I would say quick and easy, but that would be a blatant lie. There is a solution for this. Yay, efficiency. Thing is, this will probably get me to the moon, but it won't be a happy journey, and it won't be a safe journey. Same for Minmus. You'll eventually get there. The things I do for love, eh? Thankfully I can cut the video when I start my centuries-long burn. And these all have to be done in singular. I could do them in double, but we'll see. But I don't really want to. There's no point. There we are. Stable engines. Is the staging still the same? Yes, it is. No, it isn't, because this engine is a different engine, so I'm going to put this staging over there. Good. No need to set up any safety systems or any return systems. This is a one-way trip. These fuel tanks might be slightly too much. I can even use the smaller fuel tanks. But better safe than sorry, as you know. So this is the Rangari 1, and I'm gonna go. Episode 7, in which we hopefully make a bunch of money and set up infrastructure to make even more money in the future. And no staging accidents this time, please. Here we go. Our asparagus staging is probably going to work just fine. As I said, these guys all count the fuel in the total amount of fuel tanks here, because that's how the game measures it when you have fuel ducts installed. These two only, because they don't have any fuel ducts running toward them, only measure the fuel in their own engines. So these three are going to jump back to full, because at a certain point in time, these guys are going to be empty, but the rest are still going to be, quote, full, because all the empty space is going to be ejected in just a second. And as you see, these two are going to be ejected, so leaving me with a relatively horizontal oriented rocket, which is going to be very easy to tilt when the time comes. If the time comes before I have to detach them, of course. See, that went perfectly. Now it looks very Enterprise-like. Well, not Enterprise-like, that rocket from, just give me a sec here, for the life of me, I can't remember the name. The first Warp 1 ship, built by Sephram Cochrane. But yeah, it does look like a bunch of nacelles, which is really cool. Yeah, I could have turned this thing as well, but the downside to that is when you turn probes, it has a tendency of turning the orientation of your nav ball. Nav ball is what that thing's called. And I don't want to do that, because, well, that would be bad. Things don't seem to be imploding on themselves yet, so that's excellent. The electricity seems to be holding on just fine, considering all these guys have alternators. I wouldn't have expected it any other way. Altitude seems to be relatively low. That's what you can expect with an asparagus rocket, but we're still increasing in velocity, albeit somewhat slowly. We have 3 LV-30s going at full power. Of course we are increasing its speed. Now this last stage should last us a while, so this stage might have been slightly superfluous, but I suppose I can use that stage to give us a boost to lunar orbit, and then from lunar orbit I can have the other probe go on its way to Momus on its own. That makes sense, I think, I hope. How high is this? 52. Yeah, after these are going to be detached, I'm going to tilt. What the hell are you doing? Shut down that engine. I could have sworn... Hold on. By all that is holy, what the hell? Activate engine. Come on. May as well. That's one way to make a gravity turn, right? Yeah. And now we need to burn very fast. So I'm going to shut down this guy. As obviously that was not supposed to happen. But this is, I suppose, a good way to do it. And that's what you get when you don't have any frickin' gyroscopes. Now I need to stop this rotation, so I need to activate this engine as well. And shut it back down. Thankfully that doesn't use any fuel, so that's good. But now I need to make a rather extreme burn in order to not fall back down. So yeah, wish me luck. Wish me luck. I'm high enough to start deploying my solars, so that's good. Sadly, these things don't have any torque. So yeah, I'm going to have to use these engines as an excuse for torque, which is not how it's supposed to go, obviously. Thankfully, I can refuel them with the fuel from that thing, and that thing does have gimbals, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the fuel in there. And in there. And then when this thing runs out of fuel, I'm probably going to have plenty of power left to get me into orbit. And if not, so be it. I'm not high enough to run the test yet, and I'm not even in orbit yet, so that's the way of things, I suppose. No, keep going, keep going. I want you to be slightly more downward. No, not that far downward. There we go. We got this. We got this, I hope. I think we got this. This thing's about to run out. So that's great, because this thing has gimbal. LV-45 saved my life. See, I put the wrong engine there again. Thankfully, I did manage to fix it this time. This was fixable, so I fixed it. Tremble before the gimbal. Now, I think I can get myself into orbit like this, if only barely. So my over-budgeting things was justified. Captain Tuning Fork is going to be just fine. And as I said, this thing is very light, so though it might take a while, it will eventually get me where I need to go. 64 is not enough, but we can get to the Apple apps and fix it. And we have all the electricity we're ever going to need. As well, we're high enough now that we can do a test. Run test. Shut down engine. I thought I could run a test here. The altitude's got to be... Oh, lower than this. Oh no. Orbit. I'm not in orbit yet. That's the problem. Okay, altitude's good. I just need to be in orbit. I can do orbit. It knows that I'm in a suborbital trajectory. Clever. Even though I'm still technically in an orbit, it's just an orbit that will decay very, very quickly, thanks to the atmosphere. It's still an orbit, though. It's circular. It has a periapsis. It does not end in the ground, but it does end in the air, so I need to raise it just a little bit. Just a little bit. That'll do. Look at the SAS trying so hard to keep me from swerving back and forth. Run test. Yes, that's one contract done. One more contract done, I suppose. Can't do Ike, can't do Minus yet, not really. Ooh, I can still do some of this, though, which will give me some extra bonus contracts. I have duplicate contracts. Not that I haven't already done some of this stuff before, so, yeah, I earn it. I've earned it. I'm hoping to get one of those similar encounters with the moon I had last time, which will allow me, to approach Minmus as well. We'll see. We'll see. Because then I can make one do a turn toward the moon, and the other will keep going toward Minmus. Or the other way around, I don't care. See, that's the kind of thing I like. Downward just a little bit, even if it's not a direct encounter with Minmus, I don't really... upward? No? Nope, it doesn't like that. Okay. Still, this is apparently the area... Oh, is that because... I need to circularize then? Yeah, that'll do. Now let's see how you like it. What's the closest, best point to get to the moon? Not there, apparently. Not anywhere. Yet. Slightly more. Spoink. Well then. Hello, nurse. And do you think I can use this to get to Minmus? Oh, you betcha. That's too much. It's too much as well. Is this gonna decrease the... Nope. It's too much as well. I think I'm gonna need to be all the way over here to start making adjustments to go fly to Minmus. Fly me to the moon. Whatever. Rocket ship. Oh, this is definitely the wrong orbit to go into. This, however, is the cheapest. Yeah, so I'll figure out what to do from there. Don't need to be in the right direction or in any kind of orientation, I just need to get there. And this will definitely get me close enough to the moon to qualify. So, see you when speed up time 25 minutes. 38-second burn even with this rocket, so it will still take me a bit to do. Still, this is going to be another unprecedented idea. It's just use unmanned satellites to get science. Science I already have, of course, but yeah, it's not the most valuable science, but I can just transmit it. Free money. When I get another, like, mission to get science from near Minmus or lunar orbit, that's going to be easy enough. It's also going to be an excuse to put rovers on those worlds. Now, what I'm noticing is that I don't have any torque. Well, I do have some torque, but not much at all, and barely enough to get me in the right orientation to burn. Barely enough to get me in the right orientation to burn when it's time. So now we wait for just a bit, and then we speed up time just a little bit more. 1 minute, 20 seconds. This is it. This is it. We're gonna burn. We gotta burn. And if it means we run out of fuel, well, I don't think we will run out of fuel this time because, hey, yay, you're an LV-45, do as you're told. What the hell? There we are. What's this sway? Is this thing top heavy or something? It might be. Okay, I could do that. Still, the point stands that I need to move a bit to the side, it seems. Come on. Don't overdo it, just go. And that would be overdoing it. Turn around and slow back down. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Come on, move it. If I speed up time here, this thing will stop moving, so I need to wait it out. Another big advocacy for using gyroscopes. But as I said, I had not the money or the science to unlock them. Of course, when I'm done here, I'm going to check whether or not I can get a bigger gyroscope. Because Lord knows I have the solar panels to power them now. Yeah, I think that's how I say it, and that's how it works. Okay, now we approach over to there. Seeing as we're on a stable course to the moon, it's time for some shenanigans. Now, this looks like a good way to get a more steady orbit. Yeah. And increase my... that's too far. And what if I move it around like that? Still nothing? Ooh, it will certainly get me closer. Oh, it will get me further away. Interesting. That will get me to land on the moon. I don't think we want that. Hell, it's only a 4-second burn to get really close to the moon, and from there on, I can detach one of these guys and have them slow down. And then I can detach one of these guys and have them slow down. I hope they have enough thrust. Let me amend that. And then the other one is gonna keep going to Minmus. "20 minutes, 8 minutes, 4 minutes, etc., etc. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And this is the point where we start throwing things on the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's not a Cave Johnson quote, that's a cooking quote, I think. It's also a Cave Johnson quote, because, you know, quotes. They're not just one person's toy. Careful, careful. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I need to be very careful. Careful. Not that way, other way. Come on. Keep going. Counteract the force. Force be with you. Yes. Come on, come on. It's moving really slowly because no gyroscopes, as I said. I would have expected more from you, LV-45. But it seems even you can't fix these things. 120, 101, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 35 kilometers is good enough for me. Now let's see what happens when I do a plane change. Let me guess. I'm going to crash into the moon now. I'm obviously not going to do a plane change while sped up. 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 4 minutes. I don't know if that changes any of the calculations, but Lord knows you can never be too careful. 50, 40 seconds, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10, okay, slow down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Am I going to crash? I'm not going to crash. Sexy. Do I detach one of these guys already? No, because I need maneuvering potential. Now one of these guys is going to slow me down, and the other is one of these guys is going to try and slow down and stay there, and the other is gonna have to learn. Oh, no, not that way. That way. How to twist things so they can stay in orbit. Either way, I think I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit. I'm wondering what happens if I just slow down a little. Would that get me into minimus orbit either way, and then I just slow down a little bit more? Makes logical sense. Oh yeah, that works. Oh yeah, that works. And it's gonna slow down this much, and then a little bit more. Because this is enough to screw around with finding minimus, essentially. This is enough leeway to use the fuel I have to get to minimus. In theory. But now I need to slowly turn all the way around for that flimsy 1 second burn. That'll get me into a very unstable orbit, which I can then use to find minimus because it's got a lot of energy, that orbit. So that's good. Hell, as I'm going now, I'm going to get kicked into an orbit somewhere in the solar system, which of course also has its benefits. One of these drones can get all the way to, say, the sun or one of the other planets and get some quick and easy science, which is something I should consider. I like sending expeditions, but this is also fun enough. Yeah, once I get an eye on once I get eye on stuff, I'm already at the edge of things. I suppose my end game is going to be a manned expedition to almost everywhere, but some of these, quote, manned expeditions could just be drones. The final thing, the pièce de résistance for me would be to place a Kerbal, to put a Kerbal on the planet of, the moon of Jewel. No, the moon, Lathe, the moon of Jewel. Forest moon of Endor, indeed. Yeah, put a Kerbal on Lathe with a nice big base where they can hang around for a while, because the climate's okay there, the air is almost good enough for them there, etc., etc. It's not a habitable planet, it's basically a bunch of beaches with strange oceans and apparently lots of radiation, but it's as close to habitable as we're going to get in this solar system. Just keep going. It'll do. It'll do. Question is, am I going to crash into... No, I'm not. So, I'm going to jettison one of these guys. I'm going to jettison... What, the main guy? I don't know. Is this a Rangari 1 or its brother? I can't tell. I can't tell. Great. Yep, that was its brother. Excellent. Does this thing function? Oh, yes, it does. Time to slow down a bit more. I don't know if this thing's got an alternator, so I might as well check. Electric charge is 208. Huh. Does not seem to have an alternator. It also seems to be very, very slow. But it does seem to be doing its job. Sexy. More than good enough to get me into orbit. And that means I can transmit some data from around the moon once I get to the bright side of the moon. So that's one extra contract completed, and if I get this contract again, if I ever get this contract again, I can, well, do it again. So that's awesome. Ooh, did I just... I think I burned a bit too much with the other rocket, but that's a problem for for later, basically. Yeah, I'm not comfortable doing this right now, so I'm gonna switch over. Oh, distant ones. I'm actually gonna need to rename this thing. Rename vessel. Rangari of the moon. Rangari of the moon. So, Rangari 1, switch 2. No. It's It was this thing. What does it show the... I don't know. Strange. Yeah, I need you to be there. Because this is still too high in orbit to... Yeah, I think that's the other one. I'm going to go back to the Rangari of the Moon. Just give me a sec here. No, it's over there. But I do want to use that to slow me down. And if I slow down here, I think that'll keep that up. I don't know, I'm not sure. No, it doesn't. Okay. So I'm gonna wait until I'm here. 60, 50. Good enough. Good enough. Might as well complete my job here for now, and that is to log the temperature data, activate the antenna, and transmit the data. Yay! And I got another contract. It's done. Other Rangari. Switch to. Awesome! Let's see if this thing catches that bigger orbit. Because that's not what the other Rangari told me. Waiting. Darn it. As I was afraid of. But that can be easily solved by, well, burning a little bit more. The sad part is, I barely have enough control to do that. Another sad part about that is if I do it here, that will get me out of the system, so I better know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm gonna burn here. And make sure I get near Minmus. And from there on, it's like a really short burn anyway. And from there on, I'm gonna make sure I'm coplanar with Minmus, as in I'm going with the same inclination as Minmus. And I think I can catch Minmus at that point. Oh, stability is definitely compromised here. Oh well. Having an offset gyro is obviously bad. But it seems to be working. This the other one probably provided more than a little bit of ballast. As long as I do my gyroscoping in line with the in line with the direction of turning, it's going to be fine. If I go up and down straight, that might be bad, but we'll see. 15 days away. Other people might launch other spaceships, but as you might know, I'm short on funds. Well, maybe not anymore. What are my funds? Oh yeah, I've doubled them. Or at least I've added 100k to them, which is really good. 8 days. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 day and 3 hours. So that's 1.5 days. So, okay, I passed it by a day. That's unexpected. Well, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's close, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Not singularly the worst thing in the world. Whoa, what am I spinning for? My God. Something tells me that this is bad. Still, may as well make use of my situation. Yeah, I don't think getting close to the moon is going to be... Getting close to Minmus is going to be all that easy when I'm spinning like a top. Offset center of balance indeed. Eventually I'm going to be able to get things under control. I do have like infinite amounts of very small amounts of torque anyway. So, just going to keep going just a little bit more and that should do it. That should do it, eventually. Now, I can speed things up, and that'll get rid of the spinning, or I can just wait and get rid of the spinning, but I think I'm just going to speed things up, because considering I'd get rid of the spinning either way. What am I going to do next? Next, I'm going to set Minmus as target, and I'm going to see if I can't, as I said, make my inclination the same. Now that's going to be exceedingly difficult, of course, seeing as, well, every time I burn my rocket, it, okay, here we go. Every time I burn my rocket, it goes spinning off in different directions. So I might need to decouple already. We'll see. That's always my answer. Just try and see what happens. SAS off. Just let the rotation lead you to your destination. There we go. And yeah, the further away you get from planets, the how do I put this? The further away you get from planets, the easier it is to catch some of the sun's rays. Of course, the further away you get from the sun, the less energy you get from solar panels. So that's bad. Node in 27 days. Time to speed things up. Took me 6 days. 10 days. 987. 7 days. 6 days. 3 days. 2 days. Da, 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 da. On we go, on we go. And 5 hours, 4 hours. Yeah, we're there. Two hours, 1 hour, 45 minutes. Come on, we're almost there. $50 minutes, and there we. 10 minutes. This is close enough. And my spaceship starts spinning wildly, of course. Still, we got half the way there. Not like we're ever going to get anything close to accuracy, though. Well, we might get close to accuracy, but we're not going to get pinpoint accuracy, I can tell you that. And quaboom. That's most of it done, I think. What's the difference now? It's close enough for me to try and do something else, certainly. So this is the closest approach. Now I want to try a plane change maneuver to get myself closer to coplanar. And yeah. Plane change and a slow down. Oh baby, we got it. We have got an encounter. Come on. Don't you see it? I want to change that. Yeah. Perfect. We got an encounter with Mimus. And considering how low and slow and how little the burn is, I'm going to decouple this thing. Because I think this one can make it on its own. Activate engine. Yeah, that's so much easier to maneuver. I mean, we threw away some fuel, but over budgeting, yay. Okay. One day. 5, 4, 3, 2. An hour and a half. Okay, that's going fast. Actually, it's interesting. An hour is 60 minutes, and on Kerbal, 6 periods of 60 minutes is a day. So that makes sense. Also slightly satanic. Might be something in there. Who knows? No Kerbal's here, so I can't zoom in on the Kerbal's portrait and do some demonic chanting. So that's another opportunity squandered. Come on. So close. Hell, this is not a lot of thrust even for one of those LV1 engines. Could be I'm underestimating. Could be I'm underestimating the things, of course, but we'll see. Woo! Yep, that's an encounter. That's an encounter with Mimus. Now we wait. And then we do some Mimus science. It's still like a lot of time spent, but still. I don't really care. Sometimes rocketry is just a lot of waiting for the right moment. Very romantic, a little bit. Okay, fun time is over. Time to slow down. Are we going to go? Oh, we're even going to be in the right direction of orbit. Sexy. Minmus periaps is going to be that way. Ooh, that's a comet. It's a Class A. It's really small. So let's see. Rename vessel. Rungari of Minmus. My voice tends to sound a little bit older when I like sit down all slouched like this. I don't mind. Makes me feel, you know, grouchy and cranky. I like that. I tend to be somewhat energetic from time to time, but when I'm not, I love being like tastefully salty, so to say. Okay, and well, still cheerful. Just sound really, I guess, sound really grumpy. There we are. Easy enough. Perfect. And now we approach Mimus from the other side. Goodbye, little asteroid. This is actually instilling in me the urge to play some more Minecraft with going to the moon and Mars and that kind of thing. Minecraft is also one of those really easily moddable games. But we'll see how things turn out for that. Can't do it on any of my friend servers without any internet, at any rate. So let's see how the internet maintains itself in the next few days. How's our fuel doing? Our fuel is absolutely fine. If we ever want to make some observations from high... No, we can't do that. We can't make any observations from high moon orbit because we don't have the science. We don't have the equipment for that. Science equipment for that. And we got some more money. Oh my God, we got 300,000 money. Now we doubled our money. Oh yeah. I'm very happy with that. So, yeah, I'm going to go to the Space Center. What I can't say is that if we ever want to deorbit those two satellites, we can do that. So that's a wonderful thought. Wonderful. And we even used LV1 engines, the ones we don't have, on those on those little probes, satellites. And that's not cheating, that's a game mechanic. So let's accept these contracts for what they are. Yay, money, reputation, science. Money, reputation, science. Money, reputation, science. Excellent. Well, that last one wasn't science, but still. Let's see about those torque wheels then. No, that's not the one with the torque wheels. I think this is the one with the torque wheels, right? Yes, it is. So I'm going to purchase this thing. Yes, it is. Yes, I am. And this. Do I have the money to purchase all of them? Yes, because I could just as well do another. Mission, shall we say? And I still have lots of money left. Did I unlock everything? Well, for a given value of everything, yes, I have. I have unlocked everything. So I think if the budget holds, then next time is going to be. I have enough science to unlock this as well. Sexy. If the budget holds, we are going to be sending up our lander and damn it! I want to have these, but I can't yet. I'm going to send up our lander and our. Darn! I do actually need that. This lander can is going to be the premier way for me to build a proper lander. So we might build a probe to another world next time. We'll see how it goes. Either that, or we start setting up things, I don't know. But we're definitely going to be making some more progress next time. So I'll be seeing you for the 8th episode.